Hey everybody, it's Rob the Metal Guy, and I'm here with another video vinyl update. I'm actually going to be talking about a new album that just came in. It's actually an album, if you've watched some of my prior videos, I have talked about waiting, just highly anticipating getting this vinyl. I pre-ordered from the band Lathe of Heaven, Bound by Naked Skies. As you see, I am wearing the Lathe of Heaven long sleeve. I had talked about in a prior video how this band really enjoyed their sound in their debut album, Bound by Naked Skies. Tremendous release. If you are a fan of post-punk, new wave music, you will just be blown away. It is a release this year that completely caught me off guard, so I'll be talking about that. Then I have two other releases that I'll be talking about, kind of recommendations, showing them off, and also, giving a shout out to those bands. So let's begin though. And also at the end of the video, before I start and actually forget to mention, I usually in my past videos am doing shout outs, right? Giving promotion to something, something I like. This video, I'm changing it up. I'm going to do a Rob the Metal Guy rant about something that pissed me off. I watched a movie last night, a remake of a classic. Actually, it's the second remake of a classic film, Black Christmas. So I'm going to be talking about the 2019 version, which I'll get to that. But let's focus on the good. Let's talk about the stuff that makes us happy, music. And here it is, finally. I actually got this a while. I've been wanting to make this video. I think last week it finally came in. This is Lathe of Heaven, Bound by Naked Skies, the vinyl released through Sacred Bones Records, their debut album. Again, give a little background. Lathe of Heaven is a New York-based post-punk, new wave band. Very similar, I would describe them as they have a bit of the Killing Joke sound, as well as a lot of the classic new wave artists. I mean, Echo and the Bunnymen I hear a little of, even early Flock of Seagulls. Another band that I would kind of say it's similar to in that area would be like Susie and the Banshees. I hear some influence, but also punk. This album has a very punk aesthetic to it, sound and approach, but just amazing production, great songs. And let me take it out. One of my favorite songs on this album is called Moon Driven Sea. I loved the production. I loved the chorus. It was a really impressive release to me. This is one of those albums, as you can see, it's on solid white. I do know that there was another variant to this, but I think it had sold out by the time that I had looked. But I was excited to pre-order the album just in general. I don't care really about the colored variants. It's nice to have the solid white, sure, it's really cool. But I'm just happy I finally got this on a physical format, because when I heard it, blown away. Great band, Heralds of the Circuit Born, and their band name, Lathe of Heaven, comes from a book that I really enjoy and I read recently, and I really liked it in terms of science fiction. A lot of themes and messages that we could relate to current society and what we're going through. I'm just really impressed by it, what this band has accomplished, and I really hope that they come around and do another tour. They played some shows in the Bay Area. Unfortunately, I think the two shows they played that weekend, I was very busy, so I missed the chance to see them live, but I would love to see this band live. And I really hope more people check out this album. Bound by Naked Skies is the title. Amazing release right here. Some just catching guitar compositions, just very tight sound, and the singer, his voice, his presence very much stands out on this album. And his actually prior band, I listened to some of that material too, Pawns, blown away to it, very much in the vein of Joy Division. I hear that sound, and I hope to hear more from them. And as I said, I hope that this album gets some more recognition and they could come back around and tour. I know they played some shows. I saw they did a little tour around the middle of the country, East Coast, I think it was. And I really hope that they get picked up on something a little more so they can come around the full US so people have a chance to hear them and see them live, and also get this album out there hearing these songs live. Because no, this is, like I said, an album that just caught me because I did not expect this. This was one of those albums that you're not expecting it, and when you hear it, it's almost just it clicks. And I listen to it quite often, but to get it finally on a physical format, super excited when it came finally. So that is something I wanted to update, as I had talked about in a few of the previous videos, and I showed off my long sleeve saying I can't wait till I get this album, this band's debut release. Just great release. Unbelievably impressed by what this band brought to the table in terms of the songwriting, the recording quality, the musicianship. And it reminds you of something from that 80s period, but the attitude, that just, you could hear this raw, hungry determination in their songwriting skills, and it just really stands out. So check it out, Lathe of Heaven, Bound by Naked Skies. So here's a recommendation for all you industrial, and even if you like something that's in the vein of, I would just say, it's got a little funk to it. It's got a little just fun. Just how about that? It's a fun sounding release. This is Sexplosion by My Life with a Thrill Kill Kult. And I've talked about My Life with a Thrill Kill Kult before on my channel. I brought up, I think in one of my prior videos, Confessions of a Knife. I have that on vinyl in my collection. But Sexplosion, if you are a fan of industrial music, you will love this release, the 90s kind of industrial period. But this album also has a lot of kind of funk elements to it. The bass, I even kind of would say that the album pays homage to, like, you know, the classic kind of like 70s exploitation, very sexy, groovy kind of sounds, and like you'd see in films, right? The sexploitation films and that period of cinema, right? With the music that has that kind of funk feel to it. But this has got some great tracks on this. Sex on Wheels is possibly a track that a lot of people who are familiar with this band know. When I saw them live, I couldn't believe the reaction that the audience, when they started playing this song, it just like whipped everybody up, and I myself just enjoyed it. It was like you're grooving along to the bass riff in this song, which is so addictive. I play it on my bass sometimes because I just love how it's simple. It just hooks you. And there's a ton of great songs on this. Leather Sex is one that's really good. I enjoy that. And then I think actually right at the end, Mystery Babylon, the last track on this album, is also really cool. And is this, I got this from Wax Trax Records, famous Chicago industrial label. If you're familiar with industrial music, Ministry was on Wax Trax. Tons of bands from that period, the Chicago industrial scene. My Life with the Thrill Kill Kult, one of those groups, highly influential in terms, I think a lot of bands took from them their kind of recording techniques, their kind of production style. But what's cool about this one, I love this variant. You see there, the orange. It's really cool. The crush, kind of like soda pop-ish orange, clear. Love it. But I wanted to recommend this album because I don't think it gets a lot of attention, and it should. It's really amazing from top to bottom in terms of production, the songs, the feel. I mean, this is the type of album that, the Christian people tell their children, you'll be a sex freak, drug taking Satanist or something. And that's what My Life with the Thrill Kill Kult has always done, is they kind of play on that, the society's gone crazy, the devil's around every corner and stuff. I've always enjoyed them. They're a great band, and seeing them live, just had such a fun time. They played in San Jose, and I saw them, and it was one of those moments. It's one of those concerts where you're standing there and you're just like, wow, this band, the songs are great, right? They had such a great set list that night. And the opening bands were really good too. Kanga and Adult. I was also rather taken back by the opening bands. I thought put on great performances. But My Life with the Thrill Kill Kult, once they went on, oh gosh, I had so much fun. possibly one of the best live shows, especially because of the set list and just how they flowed through those songs. Then the encore, I tell you, if you have a chance to see them live, go see this band, My Life with a Thrill Kill Kult, and check out Sexplosion. Really highly recommend that release. All right, let's get into the world of extreme death metal darkness. If you are a fan of death metal from the land of Finland, Finnish death metal greats Convulse. This is World Without God. Came out in 1991. This is the special release because it also has the demo/EP Resuscitation of Evilness, which came out in 1990. And this is something when I was at Rasputin's I had to pick up because I'm such a fan of Convulse. Their sound, the riffs, everything about this band is utterly insane, heavy. So many modern death metal bands in the underground, I believe you could hear, have been influenced by Convulse. This is on blue vinyl if you want to check it out. Variant. Definitely unbelievable release. Love the production. The atmosphere of this album, so haunting, so dark. Finnish death metal. I mean, there's quite a few bands that I'm a huge fan of. But Convulse, without question, is one of the top for sure. A great band. And you also get, I believe in this, if I was to check here for everybody, you get the actual, here it is. You get like the liner notes and everything on this. The demo, as you can see here, the band talks about, they're thanking everybody. Just everything about this looks so good. Well done. Spart Records put this together. So shout out to that label for putting it all out there, reissuing and putting the album with the demo. It's a classic. World Without God. Check it out by Convulse. Great Finnish death metal band right here. Love the album artwork too, of course. It's just, it captures the pure evil, blasphemous essence of this album. And I said, the riffs just decimating when you listen to this. One of my favorite songs on here would probably be Infernal End, and then Godless Truth is another really good track. And then the song World Without God, just those riffs tear you apart. Your mind just goes crazy. But those are my releases, the vinyls that I thought I'd talk about. Of course, bringing up the Lathe of Heaven, finally coming in. Wanted to give a shout out to that band. All right, time for the Rob the Metal Guy rant. One sec. I think I'm going to need some water for this. Okay. So I'm a huge fan of horror movies. Have been for a long time. Ever since I was real young, I love the Universal monster films. I saw Halloween, I think, rather young, and I loved horror films. To me, there's something about them. The storytelling, right? Halloween is good versus evil, right? And also how evil never dies. And there's so many horror films that I've watched over the years that they stand out. There's something about them, and they are truly iconic, right? And they're just stories that are timeless, right? Till the end of time, that we see have such an effect. And the classics, I mean, we're going from, I'd say, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You had some unbelievably great horror films. And one of those films, I would say, is Black Christmas. 1974, I believe. Came out in the 70s. I might be off a little there in terms of the date, but it was a film in the 70s starring Olivia Hussey, who was an actress that starred in, let's say, a film called Romeo and Juliet. That was a very well-known film at the time. Again, so she went on to do something that, was pretty big, but Black Christmas still at the time was quite a film that, stood out. And John Saxon was also in Black Christmas. He was a police officer, detective, sheriff. Can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but he would go on, of course, to be the sheriff in Nightmare on Elm Street and starred in tons of movies, TV shows. John Saxon, great actor, truly amazing actor, character actor that had a lot of roles and just significant impact in the world, of cinema. So the original Black Christmas is a film that I've always enjoyed, highly respected. The director, who he went on to do a lot of significant films as well. Some of those films people may not enjoy, but I'll just say that he went on to do a film called A Christmas Story. So that kind of tells you something about that director. And I know that's why I always thought it was funny was he did Black Christmas and then he goes on to do A Christmas Story. And I can't believe it that that happened, you know. But when you look at Black Christmas at that time, in terms of horror movies, it was a very clever film. And the premise, right? You have these sorority girls that are being kind of tormented by this caller who's calling up and saying weird and inappropriate things, and you really just know his name is Billy, right? Okay, who's this Billy? There's this mystery to him. And I look back at some of the kills, some of the situations in that film, and I go, yes, this predates some of the horror films that come out in the later 70s and early 80s that have become very iconic and famous in horror cinema in their own right. But you can see where Black Christmas might have been that beginning, right? It definitely, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the crazy family setting, I've always felt was kind of one of the early establishments of that. And then you see films later on and the evolution. So I always say Black Christmas, highly influential. They remade it in 2006, utter garbage. It just, they gave too much away with the character Billy and the whole Agnes relationship, and it just sucked. I'm sorry. They went, of course, at that time, we wanted to see crazy, outrageous deaths, extra blood and gore. 2006 Black Christmas remake, to me, just, and the actresses, I'm sorry. The quality of acting is just dropped. You can see the difference from a film made in the 70s versus a film made in the 2000s, in my personal opinion. And I've always said this to people, I just feel that we have definitely seen a decline in acting. I'm sorry. It just seems to be that it's image-based now. And even the actresses back then, you know, goddamn, Hedy Lamarr was not only unbelievably attractive, but she could act. She had presence, personality, and she was goddamn smart. Check her out, Hedy Lamarr. She developed signal hopping, which the Navy used during World War II. And this would go on, this is kind of the pre-Wi-Fi technology. So there you go. Hollywood people back then were goddamn smarter than nowadays, where all they do is bitch and whine and, oh, we don't get enough money, or oh, wait. You know, this is the problem. So, but going back to Black Christmas, 2006, sucked. And there's no justifying. I can't defend that film at all. Whoever was the director, I'm sorry, they dropped the ball. But a lot of directors at the time were. But at least they were trying to, quote, remake Black Christmas, going off of the original, taking from the story and trying to bring it to the modern day. Fine, okay. And it didn't work, but you know what? They did that. 2019 comes along. Now, when this film came out, I had no desire to go see it because I thought they're remaking Black Christmas again. They already failed once. Why the hell would it work a second time? Because, yeah, they've done that with some other horror films where it's like, you failed once. Why are you trying to do this again? And it just pisses me off. So I said, I'm not going to frustrate myself and go to the theaters to see this film. Well, it's on Netflix now. So last night I saw it was on Netflix. I had some time to kill. I said, oh, I'll watch this film. I'll take a shot at it. You know, 2019, Black Christmas. I'm a huge fan of the original, so I'll see how this goes. Oh my God, it was utter garbage. It was one of the shittiest films I have seen in my life. I was embarrassed watching that film. It was so bad. The acting sucked. The story sucked. It shat all over the original Black Christmas. Okay, you could say, well, they went off and decided not to do the same story. You know, they're not going to use Billy anymore. Instead, we're going to come up with something completely wacky and push this Me Too feminist stuff that I just was like, what the hell? This has nothing to do with Black Christmas. It's stupid. The whole film just made me angry. I'm sorry, I was so mad after watching this film. I was like, what did I just watch? The acting was garbage. the whole, and I'm gonna give spoilers away for this because people don't watch it. I don't want you to watch it. I want to save you from watching the 2019 Black Christmas. Whoever directed this better not be directing any more films in Hollywood. She better be getting her license revoked. If or whatever in the film, whatever directing, she better be taken out. She should be working at Denny's in the kitchen. Actually, that job might be a little too much. No, she'll be the server because she sucked. She doesn't even deserve a job. The director, I looked her up. I can't believe this woman actually thought this was a great film. And the screenwriting just was garbage. I hope those people don't have jobs, damn it. Because it was bad. I just look at the original, the story, the atmosphere, the creativity in terms of some of the situations, and just how that film was presented. That was a classic horror film. You decide to make a film and call it Black Christmas, mind you, and then you go off and do some ridiculous politicized, the fraternity creates these zombie-like pledges that wear a black mask and go out and kill sorority girls or people that threaten the male superiority patriarchy complex. Oh my God, my head started to just hurt of why. Why? I don't care either way. I mean, personally, I don't like fraternity people. I don't like sorority people. That's what I don't mind when I watch horror movies that they get killed. It's kind of fun. Like, you stupid college people, because you're all a bunch of stupid idiots that are on TikTok. I swear, college people nowadays are so stupid. I don't mind horror films. I root for the killers, actually, sometimes. I'm like, God, I really hope you stupid college kids get chopped up by Art the Clown, Michael Myers, or Jason. I actually root for the killer in the films because the college people nowadays, especially on their TikTok, acting like they're political activists. No, they're a bunch of morons. That's what they are. And the people like this somehow get jobs in Hollywood to make films called Black Christmas and ruin it for people. So, getting back though to this film, it just, oh God, the girls, I guess the lead actress, the main character, she was sexually assaulted. No one believed her. So then they did a performance at the frat house where they pretty much did like a Me Too, going after the fraternity culture. You guys are a bunch of rapists. Okay, haha, yet you're dressed up like sexy Santa girl. They stole that, I think, from that Mean Girl, so go figure there. This film was not very original. And they had scenes where, okay, some of the kills were paying a little homage to the original, like with the bag over one of the zombie frat boys' heads. The one sorority girl did it to subdue him, and that was another thing. The original with Billy, the mystique, we never really see the killer. We don't know who he is. And then the ending, right? You leave everyone hanging with this suspense, like, is the killer? I think he's still there, right? If you watch the original, sorry if I'm giving away a spoiler. This was going to happen, okay? Still watch the original Black Christmas. Don't watch the new one. Don't watch the 2006 or the 2019. Jesus Christ. But watch the original. So, I'm just dying when I'm seeing these guys who they look like freaking like Robin Hood with like a black mask, but they're really supposed to be like the founder of this university. Was it Calvin Hawthorne, who was a racist white, sexist, chauvinist. They made him to be pretty much like, again, the anti-feminist guy or something. And oh my, it was so bad because they were doing too much of it. And this is the problem with modern films. Stop being so goddamn overly political. Be smarter in your criticism and commentary on society. Haven't you watch old films and see how the directors and people approach certain subjects? Nowadays, these directors are idiots because they just throw it in your face like, look it. And it just pisses me off. And this film should never have been made. And the actors and actresses who were in this film should be embarrassed. I am sorry. The lead actress, Imogen Poots, I saw her in Green Room. She was okay. I thought Green Room was a really good film, if you ever want to check that out, about a punk band that goes to play at a neo-Nazi festival or compound where they're having their show, and they witness a murder, and then they get trapped by the neo-Nazis, and they have to fight for their lives. This kind of survival horror film. I really like that. And she was in it. But honestly, she sucked in this Black Christmas film. And, Imogen Poop, no, she should be calling herself Imogen Poop, because her performance was shit. It was bad. It deserved the lowest rating. And I hope this film, I haven't checked the Rotten Tomatoes score because I just was reading people's reviews. And of course, I love the writers that try to say this was such a great film because it promoted a feminist message. And I'm not a chauvinist. I believe in equality. But you know what I believe in? I believe in a good film. And this was not a good film. I believe in respecting the classics. And I believe in putting out quality content. I listen to quality music, as you can see, Rush behind me, my favorite band. I believe in stuff like that, god damn it. I am tired of this shitty quality that's being put out. And I feel like I've said the S word a lot in this video, and I apologize if you are a person that doesn't like me swearing. I'm doing this because YouTube, I don't know what their algorithm does, if I swear too much, especially about a film directed by a woman. God forbid somebody tell the truth. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. This film just sucked. I don't care that she was a woman. This film just sucked. So that's my rant. I think I should stop. I could go on forever, but I'm just telling you, do not watch the 2019 Black Christmas. Save yourself the headache. Only watch the original. I'm sorry, just watch the original. That film compared to what I watched, it's like night and day. And it once again proves that modern directors, modern people have such a screwed up mentality. You spend so much time trying to promote a political ideology that you end up just losing people by putting out a garbage film. And that's what it was. It had nothing to do with the fact that, again, I believe, like I said, hey, sure, equality for everybody. People should be heard, right? And again, if someone makes an accusation. But the way that this film was presented, the way that this film ended, everything about it, the fight scene between the fraternity girls and the fraternity boys and the sorority girls. I thought, I don't know, I'm not supposed to gender anybody anymore. I thought they're all, I don't know what they identify as. So this film just sucked. The fight scene, though. There's a fight scene where they're all fighting. They had the paddles. And the sword. Oh my God. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. The original Black Christmas Billy, you don't see him. And he kills people. That's what's so great. You don't know what's going on almost. Like, when's he going to strike? And how he goes about. That made the film just have so much real suspense to it. This film, I wasn't afraid. Oh, I was afraid. I was afraid that this film just sucks so bad that I might not be able to watch anything else right now because I'm shocked. I'm in such shock. But I will go and watch a Hedy Lamarr film tonight, and I'll be just blown away by, God, this is quality. This is class. This is, especially, if you watch a film like Samson and Delilah, this was shot so well. Black Christmas 2019, the opposite. Garbage, disgusting, revolting. And as I said, it had nothing to do with the fact that she was promoting this feminist message, but it kind of did, actually. I need to be honest. It kind of did. It was just more because you focused on something like that, you sacrificed everything else in this film. You also destroyed an iconic film by coming up with a completely ridiculous story. That's what I think pissed me off. It could have been any type of message. It could have been some redneck, pro-life message, and I would have been just disgusted. To me, it didn't matter. I viewed this film more as, why are you spending so much time pushing ideology? You've destroyed an iconic horror film almost by trying to come up with your own version, which just sucks. So there you go. That is my thought on the 2019 Black Christmas. Quite possibly one of the worst ever films created in the history of cinema. It's up there. This film is up there. I'm sorry. I'd rather watch Fitzcarraldo any day, watching that boat going over the mountain. It's so much more enjoyable. Anyway, if you have any questions about the vinyls, and if you actually watched this whole video, I do thank you. Remember to like and subscribe. I just had to get that rant off my chest because, like I said, it had been eating at me since yesterday, last night. I was pretty pissed. But got to listen to some good music today, so I'm in a slightly better mood, and doing this was very therapeutic. I appreciate you people. Again, like and subscribe. This is Rob the Mail Guy. Have a good one wherever you are on this planet. Later.